All right, now in this one, this is that second part of the content goal that I was talking about, where we're going to be looking for mistakes. So you guys are kind of like a teacher here, looking at your students' work, and you want to kind of grade their work. So let's take a look at the directions, exercise 1. The following tables were made incorrectly. Find the mistakes that were made, create the correct ratio table, and then state the ratio that was used to make the correct ratio table. So down here, we have part A. This is it written incorrectly, the ratio table written incorrectly. This blank space next to it is where we will write it correctly. So let's first examine the data that we have given to us in table A. This first one, if I have 3 hours, and then pay in dollars is in this column, so for every 3 hours, they get paid $24 of pay. So I want to figure out what I am multiplying here to get, multiplying the first column in order to get the second column, and that will tell me my relationship for all of these moving down. So 3 times something is 24. 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, so that relationship should stay the same. So let's take a look at what kind of answers that we get. So 5 times 8, well, yes, that is 40. And let me zoom in a little bit. 7 times 8 is not 52. 7 times 8 is what? 56. Okay, and then 9 times 8 is 72. So it looks like there's only one mistake. The mistake's right here, this guy. All right, so when we write that correctly, we'll make sure. But I really encourage checking your answers in more than one way. So looking for those other patterns as well. These should all fit. So here we see +2, here we see +2, here we see +2. Okay, so those all fit the same pattern. How about an adding pattern this way? So 24 plus 16 will give me 40. 40 plus 16 will give me our new number 56. 56 plus 16, yep, that is 72. Okay, so we want to make sure that every puzzle piece fits. I should have the same additive in order to make sure that the relationship is correct. Okay, but that's kind of an icing on the cake type deal. This is the major focus for right now, but I do want you guys to notice this and check your work using that answer. I'm sorry, using that method. So when we go into this next one, we're gonna write it correctly. So 3, 24, that didn't change. 5, 40, that didn't change. 7, we did notice 52 is incorrect. It should be 56. 9, 72. Now for the ratio, what that wants is the simplest form. So I'm going to kind of find the simplest form of the ratio. So I'm going to find the value, but then put it in ratio form, kind of going backwards from what we've done in the past. So zoom out again. The value, the lowest numbers we have is 3 to 24. So 3 over 24. I can reduce that. I can divide both sides by 3, get 1 over 8. Okay, so the value is 1 over 8. If I write that in ratio form, it's 1 to 8. Okay, so for this bottom part here, I'd like you to try and identify the pattern and see if you can fill in the table. And then press pause while you do that. Press play when you're ready to compare your work with my work. All right, guys, so let me zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you noticed that there were a lot of errors in this table, but I can start with my first one, and I know 1 times 5 is 5. So that relationship must remain the same. 4 times 5 is 20. 7 times 5 is 35. 10 times 5 is 50. So all I've done is I've written that correctly in this second table here. So now I have the correct information. I want to find the ratio. So again, I want the simplest form. So I'm going to determine, can't talk right now. I'm going to determine the value. So my first one is 1 over 5. And that does not reduce down. It's already in its simplest form. So the ratio for 1/5 is 1:5. Okay, and a kind of shortcut, if they ever give you what just 1 would be, that's just going to be the ratio. But like in this example up here, they didn't tell us just 1 unit, so that's why we had to reduce it down. All right, guys, and then a couple of key points I really want to reiterate from your lesson summary. Down here at the bottom, it says there's a constant value that we can multiply the values in the first column by to get the values in the second column. So once you figure out what that first value is, you can bring that all the way down. Okay, it's going to be constant. And then also, if you multiply the entries in one column by a certain number, then you can multiply the entries in the other column by the same number to create equivalent ratios. Okay? All right, guys. So thank you so much. On your problem set today, you have just 2 problems. So if you have any questions about this problem set while you're working, please hop on Zoom so your teacher can work these problems out with you. And really great job.